So welcome to the repair shed. Here's what I've got. I got a clock and it was the couple's father. We're in Vancouver and the father was in the Second World War. This was his clock and he's hoping his son will take the clock from him. It was the son's grandfather, of course. So it's 220, so I don't know whether it's working or not. I have 220 on a transformer here and we'll check it out. But I'm going to dismantle it, and also he wants this, if I could bring this back, this little ledge here to a darker stain, so it's more authentic. But first of all, I'll take it apart and see what I've got. So let's get started. So the way this is made, these little nuts here are holding on this bevel that holds the glass on. So we'll take that off first, then the hands, and then the back of the clock will come out, and we'll test the motor, and we'll go from there. So here we go. Just as a note, I've also noticed that here, this latch isn't holding anything. The glass is kind of loose here. So there's something wrong with the way that's catching, and we'll have a look at that as well. And we'll improve on that as well while we're at it, so that it clamps right in. So I'll just undo these 4 nuts and get the rim off, and we'll carry on. Yeah, just after taking off the last little nut on the back here, and the glass has come off. So we have the clock, and we have these pins here for holding the clock on. There's 2, and there's 2 in this. So now I can see how they were connected in there, because these ones are still in it. Oh, they were soldered on. Okay. So there's the repair job to solder these back on. This one's broke a bit too. So I have to solder those back on correctly so that they're fixed. That'll be number 1. And we'll clean the rim up, polish the rim up as well while we're at it. I get these nuts and bolts out of the way a sec, so I have more room. Now we have always this part where we take these hands off. I'm going to use a larger screwdriver. They usually just pop off. There you go, look. There we go, 1. Metamic or something it's called, and 2. We'll get a little tub for the parts so nothing goes off. It needs a little cleaning. I don't want to clean it too much because I want to keep the old-fashioned kind of look, the patina of it all, and we'll just take off the motor now and we can kind of evaluate everything then. But we'll be down to the bare wood. I don't know what this screw here is for. Maybe for the wire to go through like that, maybe. It's not taking long to take it apart. Then we'll be to the next phase. Coming apart quite easily. And then my next thing will be to test the motor and see what we got. There we go. That's all off. I've only got the base left now, see? Right? And here's our motor. I'm not too sure what that's for. It's like a nothingness. I'm not too sure what this placed tape over this is for. Maybe a bulb or something on something else. Anyways, there's the motor. And what does that say? Silent. Tick. Oh, I see you can make it go both ways. 200 volts, 250. 50 cycles. Okay, so there's the motor. I'll open these screws and have a look and see if she runs. Well, there's the inside of the old motor. Isn't that something? That's really surprising. It'll be very interesting if it runs. It looks a little burnt here. I don't know whether it's burn mark or... There's a wire there that doesn't look too healthy, that's for sure. But we're going to leave it for the time being. See, there's broken bits coming out here, or burnt bits, which is a bad sign. That's a little worrisome. Bit of oil on it, and then we'll see if she works. Yeah, so I have a transformer here, and I've got a jump wire, and I have 2 leads coming in, and I have my multimeter here to see if the power is coming through, to check before I hitch it to the motor. So let's put this on. It says 235, so we have volts. So I turn it off. And now we'll just take these connectors that were going to the multimeter. So we have power, 200 volt, and then we'll hitch them to the clock. One way. Let's flick on. Nothing. And then the other way, just to make sure there's nothing I think is burnt out. That's a pity. So there's a big problem. So we'll have to solve that later on. Some kind of mechanism in there to make it work again. Might be better to put a battery one in so you can put a battery in and keep it running. So the motor's not working. So I'm going to have to contact them and ask them, do they want something else put in there? And I'll do my best. In the meantime, I'm just going to take off this brown stain, wash the clock, clean the clock. A little brown stain there is a nuisance, but anyways, take the brown stain off here a little and re-stain it. I don't really want to do too much to this. I like leaving the old. I'm just going to wash this, clean this off as well, and we'll be ready to put back whatever he wants. So I'm just going to wipe this all down. Got a little white spirits here will do it. Just give it a quick clean and see what you got. Must hasn't been cleaned for 100 years. What? See, it's a lovely clock. If I put a bit of oil on this or something, it'll look lovely. There's in the crevice, got a bit of dust here. When I oil this in the very end, it'll look like this. It'll look lovely. Get rid of some of the paint marks. And watch the restoration, so they always say consolidate. The one that does the pottery, consolidate the colors. Or whatever. I just don't like these big paint picks on there. Right? There's some paint marks here. Just got to get rid of. And should be ready to rock and roll. You just got to pick each one off. I don't want to ruin the varnish or anything. It's getting there. There we go. A couple down here. I'll keep doing this until it's quite nice looking. Right? And then when I finish it, I'll do a kind of another clean up of it. There she is, her glory. Bit of oil on that, look at that. Isn't that lovely? What a beautiful clock. Yeah, so I'm going to drill this hole bigger so this can go in through and make this into an electric clock for them, because they said it was okay and it will suit them better and it's safer. And we can make an electric clock that still has the vintage look. So I think that's a great compromise, and cost-wise as well, it'll help. So just drill this apart and see if I can screw it in somehow. So I'm just going to drill the center of this. Geez, I better tape that. Look at that flaking. That's really scary. Now that should take on my new watch thing here, my new clock thing. Right? It should just go straight through like that. Ooh, it's going to be tight getting that in there. Yep. I don't think it's going to screw on yet. Nope. Yeah, I'm going to have to maybe countersink this a little, which is always a bit dicey. Maybe I'll use a Dremel and do that, and get the screw in. And I can do it on the back too. I can get a little bit more out of the back there, with that there. Not much so. Nope. It's a hard one. Yep. Yeah, so I've made a larger hole here for the electrics. A nice washer. It's got to be countersunk because it's not, the shaft isn't long enough. And there's a countersunk with a nice little brass washer in there. Like that. And then the clock piece will come through here. And if we're lucky, this will screw on. And we should have nearly a running clock already. Just got to work out how to get the hands on, the old hands on, to this new system here. It's all workable. See, we just tighten that up a bit more. And we have a running clock nearly. There we go. That's in pretty good. I might put a bit of epoxy on that to make sure it can't slip. Let's not worry about that right now. Let's just put on, what time is it? 4:15. Let's just do this. Put this at 3 and this at there. I'm going to put on this little hand for the fun of it, not to worry. Right? Then I need a little battery in the back. Then we go 4:15, which is the time right now. 3 o'clock there, like that, and 1/4 past there, like that. They're not supposed to hit each other, so we'll bend them up. That one's a bit, that's alright. Let's get going. Battery goes this way. There she is running. That didn't take long, did it? So we have a battery run clock instead of electric one. It looks still the same, right? And if the glass goes over top, we're away, which would be the next thing, the next worry. Take that off for a sec. We can take this, oops, we'll just pour all that stuff out of the glass. I don't know whether the glass will go over top, but with other hands it most likely will. Yeah, with the smaller hands it'll go over top. It's beveled enough, perfect. So everything's okay. I just got to solder those prongs on it, and I got to work out how to get these older hands that are here back onto this. And we'll be done. I'll be quite happy with that. Okay, but we are moving. See if she moves all right. Well, I can put on the small hand for a little while for the fun of it. Ooh, oh, she's flying. I might put one on anyways. Right? I still got to stain the bottom here, fix the glass, but we're on our way. Yep. Not too hard. There it is running. I'll leave it run for a little bit till 1/2 past. Make sure it's keeping time. And then we'll find a way of putting these hands on those divots somehow. Drilling them out, maybe grinding this off, drilling it out and then epoxying it to them. Or just painting them grayish green. So this is the original hand. It has a small hole, and this one is the hand that fits the clock. So I'm going to drill the hole larger and epoxy it onto this one, onto this here, this section, and maybe up a bit, and just leave it that way. And that way I'll have the old hand and the new hand. I hope it works. We'll try it out. I'm just going to drill this hole out and see how it works. So I'm going to take the hand that has the hole drilled in it, as you can see, and I'm going to epoxy it on the hand that fits on the clock, on the electric clock here, and leave it dry, and then I'll cut that excess off on the other side of the round circle. And we'll have a working clock. Yeah, so I've clamped down the piece that I'm gluing on onto the arm, the piece from the arms that are with the electric clock, and now we have these pieces sticking out here, and you can just really just snip them off with the scissors and it'll be fine. I could do it afterwards, but just to show you how easy it is. I'm going to leave that actually dry now. I like to get a little bit out of the hole. There's a little bit of dirt in that hole there. Yep. Okay, let's clamp it again. Make sure she's well clamped in on both sides. There we go. I can cut that end off a little. And I'll grind that around so it fits it nicely afterwards. Just leave that dry, and that'll fit on my clock here nicely. So this clock is nearly ready to go. Just have a little stain and some other things, but it's gone very close. Put them in the glass. And we have that rim to fix yet, so we'll have a look at that right now. Yeah, just finishing soldering these together. They're all on again. So when this goes into the clock, I can screw the rim right up against the clock properly this time. I got a little bit of filing to do on this one here, a little bump there, but otherwise it's really pretty good. Quite happy with it. Yeah, so I'm going to use an old trick to shine this up. And I'm going to use a Brillo pad. You just dip in a bit of water and give it a little wipe. Works like a charm. Yeah. So here we go, a little bit of water. Dwing, dwing. Get the light on this a bit more. There we go. And you just give it a quick rub around. Get all that scum off. Here's the dirt. There she goes. We'll do the edge a bit. You can see there's yellow here, see, and it's coming off really nicely. Well, say, never been cleaned, you know? Probably from the Second World War. I go around a bit more, give it a wipe. And just show you what you get. You give it a wipe, look. Look at that. Look at that, how it shines. It's only a couple of seconds. Bit more and we're done. Yeah, so I have the pegs soldered on. I'm getting finger marks on it a bit because my fingers are a little dirty, but there you go. She's all polished up and ready to go back on the clock. She'll go over the glass and she'll go back on here like this. There we go. We're all fitting in. See, it should be lovely and clean. Huh? It's going to look gorgeous when it's done. There we go. I got to go wash. Don't forget when you solder something, you always got to put hot water on it and make sure you get the flux off, which has got a bit of an acid in it. So I'll do that quickly. We're getting close. Yeah, so I've opened some dark stain here. So I'm going to put it on the bottom here. I'm going to wipe it again. I'm not too happy with that. There we go. Just going to give the bottom one and blend that in a bit too there, see. I got some sponges last day I should try, but I don't know where they are. Ah, there they are. A little sponge might be an interesting way of trying it. Yeah, I preferred the brush, but that wasn't a good idea. Yeah. You win some, you lose some. What? Now, if I'm lucky, I wipe this on there. Now she's looking nice. Yep, I most likely epoxy this plastic on so it's not loose, so it can't loosen out. Just a little dab and we're all set to go for tomorrow. So the last thing I'm going to do tonight is pop on my hands. I've got this filed so that it fits tightly on this here. So that'll be 12 o'clock there. I'll start at 12 like that. Press it on. Do I have it the right way around? I hope so. Anyways, 12 o'clock. Maybe I should took the other side. Oh, no, it doesn't want to come off. Huh? Yeah, fine, that was. Do it again. Yep, doesn't matter. There we go, 12 o'clock. And then we put on the long hand where I glued that piece on it today so that it would stick better. Remember that? Epoxied, I should say. And that's on, that's nice. When you get if you start at the 12, you get them all lined up, see? And now we're going to go 12, 25, bing, like that. And we're going to put the little second hand on, which I just snipped the end off because it was too long. It's still a bit long, but it doesn't matter for the time being, for testing it. And then we're going to stick a battery in the back here. You know the way the batteries go, you got to just pop them in. This one's a bit tight. There we go. It's in. It's 12:25, I suppose you can call that. And she's running nicely. We'll see how she's running in the morning. But you know we're moving along nicely. And then all we got to do is get this glass back on afterwards. And we're going to be away. It looks quite nice at the moment. I'm quite happy with that. This has to be cut most likely a little shorter because of the glass coming out and hitting it. But just a snip. We won't worry about that tonight. So it's been a productive day. Nearly got the clock back together as a battery operated clock. Yeah, I've just mixed up a bit of grey with a bit of white and then with a little bit of green in it and a little bit of brown, and I've got the right colour for the hands. Just touching them up so when they're put on, where I drilled and made them the right size for this clock. You can see the original colour is very close. Yeah, so I'm just touching them up here. It's nearly done. It's lovely, right? I've done both sides of each one. I'll put it one way, so yeah. Now, should I do this hand or no? That is the question. I don't think I need to. I'll leave it. And so we're all done with the touch-ups. Now all I gotta do is put the hands on, the glass on, and the clock is finished. Yeah, so I'm just pressing on the hands here. I usually do 12 o'clock because that's the best place to set your clocks at. It's nice and grey like the old hand was. Match the colour. Let's put on my glasses to see what I'm doing here. I'll just put it on like that. There, like that. That's lovely. And then the small hand. Make sure it works. Which way the battery goes, it goes down. I think it's kind of a weird one actually. There it starts running. And I should be able to turn this to set the times. Ooh, that's touching that hand a bit. So I just pushed on the two hands. I'm just making sure they don't hit each other here. This top is a bit close. Still a little bit close. I got to make sure nothing hits anything. And it is 3 o'clock. So we'll just go 1, 2, oops, 3:25, 3:25. She's right there. She's running. I'm just gonna put the glass, clean the glass, and put it on, and we're done. Just take the battery out again. I just screwed the glass on with this bracket here and these little nuts, and she's all finished. Just tighten the little screws up to hold the glass on. As you can see, battery's in, and there she is. Isn't that pretty? All running. Has great sentimental value to the people that own it, so I'm glad I got it in such lovely shape again.